Welcome, everyone. I am Nathan. He is Raymond, and we are the Infodump Brothers from another mother.
Welcome. Today we're talking about the Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah.
So just like, I guess I want to start with like a brief summary of what happens in the movie.
Also, just to make sure we say it up front this time, spoilers.
Yes. Thank you, Nathan. Like as you pointed out last time, we always like forget until like 20 minutes in, and that's like really accurate.
I mean, in fairness, we call ourselves the Infodump Brothers, which means we're going to tell you all the information about the thing we're talking about. So I feel like spoilers are kind of a given almost.
Exactly. Just assume that we'll spoil it all. So yeah, I would like to say I like this Marvel movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting off with that, I think it's a really good, like, quote unquote comeback for Marvel, as like in the movie side, because I feel like I've really enjoyed the shows. Like they have not all of them have had like good finales, but they've been like good, like in my opinion. But I haven't been like excited for a Marvel movie in a while, and this movie kind of like just caught my attention. And it starts with our new Black Widow, essentially. Like she's somewhere dealing with some kind of experimental lab site. I don't remember what country, but she is battling some people, and she's doing her job as a mercenary. But we see that she seems to be
Going
like
through the motions.
exactly like going through the motions. She doesn't seem to feel fulfilled in this job as a mercenary, and she kind of just like wants to find purpose in her life, as we see her like just continuing her journey, finish the mission, and she visits her like surrogate father, Red Guardian, essentially. To he hasn't been communicating with her in a while. I think it's like ever since
Natasha was gone, like it gave the impression of like losing a family losing a family member makes the other members of the family drift apart.
Exactly. And Natasha was the one that seemed to be like uniting them in a way. So it's like losing her was like the thread that kind of just like separated them in a way. Mm-hmm. And Red Guardian has like a new job. He's like working multiple jobs, I guess. Like he's working as a bodyguard and as a limo driver. Very funny. But we move on from them as Val is trying to Valerina, I think it is
Valentina de Fontaine or something.
Yes, Valentina de Fontaine is trying to cover up her like shady dealings, because she's like on a governmental position, and she's like on trial for misuse of power and all that. And she's like erasing her tracks from everything. Like we know that she's been trying to work on some kind of project, some kind of experiments, and she's kind of trying to cover it all up. Then our Elena is told, "Hey, I have a final mission for you," and she's like, Elena is like, I'm okay. I'll take the final mission if you start giving me like something like more. Like I want to be maybe like a hero or something. Because Red Guardian kind of convinced her to like kind of be more of a hero like her sister. So it's like that's what she's kind of like aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
And Valentina, or Val, like she's called in the movie, is told tells her, yeah, like fine, I'll do that, but like I need you to do a final mission. There's someone who is trying to get into one of my facilities and steal some information and release it. So go there, get to that facility. Yelena, we finally see her getting there. She enters and is surprised to find three other people who are U.S. soldier, Ghost, and Taskmaster. They all begin to fight each other because each one of them has like a target. Like I think Yelena is trying to kill Ghost,
Yeah,
right?
Yelena's after Ghost. I think Taskmaster is after John Walker, U.S. agent, and John Walker was after
Yelena?
Yelena. I think so.
Yeah. Yes. So they all have like each other as their targets essentially, and Taskmaster is immediately killed.
R.I.P.
Yeah, which I didn't like, but okay.
It was a cool fight scene, enough to make me want to see more of her, but nope, we did not get more of her.
Yeah, it was a cool fight scene, and we see like them fighting, and then Yelena is like, wait, hold on, like this seems odd. Like you work for Valentina, you work for Valentina. Yeah, we all work for Valentina. Oh man, she's trying to kill us. That's what she's trying to do, and yeah, as soon as like they discover that, the room turns into an oven, and it's gonna be like an incinerator essentially that's gonna destroy all the evidence that has been gathered and them in the process.
Mm-hmm.
What
and along the way they meet Bob.
Exactly, Bob comes out of a
container.
A container, and they're like very confused of why he's there. And suddenly they find themselves like there's like a clock in the wall. They're like, oh, that's ticking down to our death, so we should work together to get out of here. Val was not expecting them to work together, so they just do. They work together. They save themselves. They go outside, and now they have Bob as their friend. He's a very simple man. He's very like charming in a way, a bit pathetic. So they kind of just want to get him out of here as well, and the team kind of begins to like go around, and they discover that like the elevator, like the shaft is not working anymore, so they have to like climb up it.
They do
like,
the Emperor's New Groove thing.
Exactly, of like biting each other, like, and they make like a circle, and they start like going up and up and up and up, and they're able to make it. I think that Bob discovers he has superpowers here in this scene, right?
I don't think he discovers it. I think like at this point, the others start to realize something's up with him, because I think by the time they start climbing up, Yelena had already had a moment where she like saw a dark thing in her head, but like didn't really realize it was Bob. They were holding hands, but like it was but like Bob clearly saw the darkness inside her. And then by the time they get to the top of the elevator and Walker tries to grab Bob as well, he has a similar thing, but like he realizes something weird is about Bob, but like they don't really quite pin together that he has powers or whatever, just that Bob seems to be more than he seems.
But doesn't he start flying in this scene, or am I?
No, that's not until like they get out of the facility, like when he gets shot.
Gotcha. So they are able to get out. They make it, and as soon as they make it out, Val is there with her whole team. Mm-hmm. Like she can't let them escape, but she realizes through video cameras that Bob is one of her failed experiments. Mm-hmm. But he seems to have survived because all the other people that have been in the experiment have died, and he was supposed to be dead. So what we learn is that he like came back to life, so he's very powerful. Essentially, that probably that's what I insinuated from that, because yeah. So
she's desperate to get him back and keep him alive, and is very insistent. Like all of her men that she sends after him is like, no, keep him alive, don't shoot to kill, blah blah blah. And the guys are like, But we want to shoot to kill. We like shooting to kill.
Exactly. They're trigger happy, so they end up shooting Bob. And in like a heroic sacrifice, essentially, Bob saves his new friends. Because he kind of seems to have like a bit of a crush on Yelena.
If nothing else, there's certainly a connection because they both share in their darkness, and they both bond over that. And so, like, yeah, in order for the rest of the others to sneak out, he goes back and plays the distraction. And,
exactly.
and then everyone points their guns at him and shoots him.
Yes, and he dies, and then we see the team just like escape, and then Red Guardian finds them in the desert.
Mm-hmm. Red Guardian. Yes, and right before that scene, when he gets shot, that's when he like starts flying up in the air, and then everyone realizes, oh crap, Bob has powers, and then he like throttles back to the ground in like a meteor, and then Valentina's like, ooh, yes, very good, he'll serve my purposes nicely, and then that's when she takes him.
Exactly. And we see Red Guardian learned about all of this through Val, because Val was using his limo service. Very convenient, but it's fun, you know, it's a story. That's things are convenient. And then
it's so funny seeing him show up. He's like just driving his limo full throttle, heading towards Yelena, and Yelena's like, "Oh God, it's my embarrassing dad. Don't look at me. I don't know this guy, please."
Yes, and I love the fact that it would have been very, very convenient if he just got there, like very fast, but he didn't. Like it took him like a day or two to get there. So I like that. Mm-hmm. Like I think
in his own goofy way, I loved it.
It took him a day. Sorry, not two, but like it did took him a day. So it's really fun. See him like drive into the place with the limo, and he saves them. He goes off, and suddenly, who's following them? Val. Val is following them with tanks, not tanks, but like those army cars. They start shooting at them, blah blah blah. But then suddenly comes out the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier now works for the government, trying to uncover Val's dirty secrets. So he's trying to catch up to them. He destroys the cars that are that work for Val, and then he also takes down our team of mercenaries in the process, and thinking that they were on the same side, but no, they're not at the moment.
I love how done with everything Bucky is during this movie, because like at the start of the movie, you see him trying to like be like a legit politician, trying to do his best, but he's clearly like in over his head, because it's just so unlike anything he's used to doing. Like he wants to go after Valentina, he wants to stop her, but he has to go through he has to deal with all this political red tape and like all these necessary like bureaucratic nonsense to deal with her, and it's like this doesn't make any sense. Like if we want to go after her, we have to like be more direct and cutthroat about this. And the other politicians are like, no, we have a system. The system works, Bucky. Like you have to follow the system. Like, did you read my folder? Read my folder, Bucky. And Bucky's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna go after her.
Yeah, if anything, we've learned that the system doesn't work in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because like Captain America had to tell the politicians, hey, do better. That's one of the funniest scenes in that show, because it's like it is very impactful, but at the same time it's like very funny, because it's just like assuming words are gonna change a whole, like, I guess so, but it's like not really at the same time. But yeah, it's like a positive change in the right direction. Anyways, Bucky gets to them, catches them, puts them in binds, and they are trying to tell him, hey, we're not the bad guys. Like, Val's the bad guy, and he has Bob, and he's like, Bob? What is a Bob? And like, they're like trying to explain to him that he has superpowers and stuff like that, but Bucky doesn't really believe them because, you know, they were technically villains before, a lot of them. And it's like they try to talk him into it, like, hey, like we're truly not the bad guys here. And
then eventually Bucky gets a call from Valentina's assistant, who he's trying
yes,
to like make friends with during this movie in order to like get more info on Val. And so like they have a little bit of a rapport. And so the assistant calls Bucky and is like, "Hey, by the way, Bob is a problem. You should come deal with Bob." And then Bucky's like, "Oh, okay, so Bob's a thing. All right, well, I guess we need to stop Bob now, and you guys are going to help me."
exactly. Like, and then they all become a team now. They're the Thunderbolts.
Which I like the detail of like the Thunderbolts being like the childhood team of Elena's
Yes,
soccer team, and her dad is super like insistent and proud and overbearing about it, and just very sweet.
yes. I love it. It's great. Uh, it was a clever way to still name them the Thunderbolts without having to involve Thunderbolt Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was interesting. It was a choice. I was okay with the choice. It's still a bit weird because we know he exists and he's a character in the world, so it's like, it's weird.
Not to mention this team technically, I think, only exists because of Baron Zemo in the comics, so that's like another thing. But like, yeah, it's basically had to like jump through a couple separate hoops in order to make it stand on its own. And you know what they've done? It's still believable to me. It's so it's so weird when you know the context of the comic books, but you know what they've done, it works, and like it doesn't detract from like the emotional storytelling they're doing. If anything, it helps contribute to it.
It works, and they have characters in this team from the comic book, so it works. It's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
And they call the Thunderbolts now. They head off. The plot really ramps up. This movie is very well paced, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel boring at any point. The jokes are very natural. Like that's what I really like about it. It doesn't feel like forced Marvel humor that we've seen in a while, which again, I'm not opposed to Marvel humor. Like a lot of people are. Like they're very critical about it. I kind of like it. Like I like lighthearted superhero stuff, so it's like fine for me. Like, but I like the fact that they are evolving and becoming something that other people can be like, okay, I like this, because I prefer if people like Marvel movies, because we get more superheroes and we dive deeper into the superhero mythos instead of keeping it surface level. And this movie does a very good job at just going full superhero stuff. Like it's not scared of the suits. It's not scared of the concept of the void or stuff like that. It just goes into it. It also, like, I love the fact that, like, even though Bob is such a powerful character, they make it so that it's believable that he's not just killing the Thunderbolts, because he made like a connection with them earlier in the movie. Connection there where he's not just going to straight up kill them, because it would just like be weird for his character to do so. And I really enjoy that they build the character so that even though it's a very powerful character, we have a reason why he's not just going to straight up kill our heroes.
Yeah, now that you mentioned, that is a good move. That was a smart move. It really just goes to show that everyone in this movie is just dealing with their own darkness, and the only way you can really deal with your own darkness is with other people alongside you dealing with theirs.
Yeah, it also like shuts up anyone who's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. These people don't have enough power to defeat this guy, right? It's like it works very well. It works because they're not trying to win through, like, they're using their power to save people around the void, which is what the century turns into.
Yeah, like they're trying to save other people, and they're trying to save each other. And that's what it really boils down to. It's not about beating the bad guy. It's not about having amazing superpowers or looking cool doing it. It's just really about taking care of each other. And that itself is a superpower.
It was very Steven Universe.
Yeah.
So it always comes back to that. This
is like mental health therapy, the movie. Like, and this is like a day and age where like that is very relevant to a lot of people nowadays.
It's great. It's great. And like, I can't help but think that Steven Universe was a step into doing this with superheroes and superpower people, because it's like we didn't see that before that much until Steven Universe, and now we see it with like the writers of My Adventures with Superman doing the same thing. and now here as well in the Thunderbolts. And I think the Thunderbolts are obviously taking inspiration from what James Gunn and DC is doing a little bit, because like James Gunn has been driving the superhero genre in that direction since Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and this movie really did feel like their spin on Guardians of the Galaxy / Suicide Squad. Like the only thing that was missing is like the typical James Gunn like pop culture movie track or soundtrack. But like when it came to broken characters that are trying to like do their best and like become a found family through the process, yeah, this is 100% James Gunn style.
And we like, and it's good. Like,
yes.
I'm saying that it's a good thing. Like, I'm not saying it as like they're ripping off James Gunn or anything like that. I just think that's a step in the right direction in filmmaking nowadays. Like, I'm not, because we were focused so much in such a bleak world for so long. We were focused in such a like bleak like representation of the hero villain genre,
like Zack Snyder's his bleak take on Superman and all that.
Yeah. But finally,
and so like this is like a balance of, yes, things are bleak and we are broken, messed up people, but we can still enjoy the light. Like we can still have good things happen to us. We can be self-aware. We can still have jokes even in the middle of all this darkness, and we can learn how to deal with this darkness and make us better as opposed to worse.
Exactly. So they get to the Avengers Tower, which was bought by Val. And they find that Val has turned Bob into the Sentry. Essentially he is the Marvel version of Superman, with trauma and baggage.
And trauma, baggage, schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever you want to call it. Like, yeah, he is not right in the head, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And Valentina basically preys on that by by essentially just like crafting him into like being the perfect like soldier for her, essentially, where it's like, you do what I want and I'll accept you for who you are and I'll make you the hero that you want to be, blah blah blah. Like,
and I love, and it makes so much sense in his character. I love the like turn into like the immediate god complex. Like, I listen to you? I am more powerful than you. And like it works so well, because it's like we know that we're told his backstory through the secretary of Val, that's like he had like a rough childhood. Like I think he was like in an orphanage, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
Maybe you wound up there. I know he had abusive parent or abusive dad, and like because you see a glimpse of it a little bit more once Yelena gets into the void.
I think he was in a mental institution. That's what they were. That's what they said, I think. And then like he got out because he got better in a sense, but he still had that depression. He still had those suicidal thoughts and all that stuff. So he decided to join in to this project of becoming the Sentry, to have power, because he felt powerless. He felt empty. He felt a void inside of him that he needed to fill with something. And again, that's such a real representation of humanity and how we feel nowadays. And it's like, yeah, like there is this void, there is this something in us that needs to be filled. And you and I, we believe that void can be filled by God and community, right? But like for the average human that maybe doesn't believe in God, community is the answer. Like this, the sense of community will bring you closer to filling up that void. And we believe that a step further would be also having God in your heart and filling that void as well. But for the purpose of this movie, it's beautiful how the team is trying to get Sentry into their side by trying to show him, right, like, hey, we also share that same brokenness that you are that you have in you. It's a thing that we are all facing through. Let's face it together. And that's like that's the third art. The third act is literally them just like the Sentry becomes the void. He becomes this emptiness, this darkness, and he starts just like making like at first I thought he was killing people. Like I was really scared because I was like, okay, how are they gonna fix this? But no, he's like sending them to the void essentially, and it's so great. It's so well portrayed because it's like you do feel the sense of dread because you don't know that yet. Like you don't know that that's what's happening. You just think he's like straight up just murking people.
Yeah,
Like,
they literally look like black stains on the wall. Like they just got blown up, but there was no explosion. It was so dark. But I guess the implication is more they got sucked into her shadows, essentially.
Exactly, and that's so creative. It's so incredible.
Right? I love the creativity for the void in this movie, and just like because they could have easily made this into like another bland CGI superhero fest, but like when they go inside the void, it's like so much just practical effects. Where it's like when Yelena's going from like one part of the void to the other, it's really just like one room connected to the other, and like shifting the camera or shifting things around, like disorient you. But like there's not like a crazy CGI like darkness spilling everywhere or like a weird path showing up. It's really just her going from one room to the other, but they're all just like done, like it's all blocked together so well that like it still feels unnerving and still feels weird, even though they're mostly just using practical effects in order to get this all across.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think it's great to like when we go into the void, it's so cool to see because it's like built like a stage. Like the memories are built like a stage, so it feels very fake in this moment. Like so it's such a practical way of showing this unnervousness of like when you are in these memories, when you're in these like traumatic like memories, you are replaying, you're making a play in your mind. You're like making it more dramatic, you're changing it, you're making it more dark, you're like consuming yourself and making yourself or the things happening around you intensify essentially.
And when you try to fight back and undo it, your brain fights back as a result of you fighting back. And so like I love that moment where Yelena is like trying to because like the recurring thing for Yelena, she's very traumatic about how in her childhood when she was back in the Red Room like training to be a Black Widow, she like part of her test got one of her best friends killed, and she felt super guilty about that. And like that's a scene playing over in her head over and over again, especially in the void. And I love the little moment where like she tries like stand up and like stop the scene from happening, like tries to save her friend from getting killed, and her mind, the void basically fights back, being like, no, you can't stop this, just sit back and watch, like you're a bad person, so you're gonna deal with this punishment by replaying this over and over and over again.
Yes, I like it's so incredible to me. I feel like it's so beautiful in a way where it's like very like these people are not good people, but no one is truly good out there, and it's like that's why like we can see ourselves in these characters. Even like we understand what they're going through in a way. Of course, maybe not all of us are like actual murderers, right? But it's like we're still connecting to the fact that it's like these are bad people. They've done mistakes, but they are trying to do good now. They are trying to change, and we believe in redemption. And I think that's such a, again, very beautiful. Like I want society to believe in redemption again. Like I want us to believe that people can change. Like I do understand that like our biases and our like there's so much of us there's this justification of like you're bad and that's it, right? But it's like when you point a finger towards someone else that has done bad things, you're also pointing a finger towards you because you done bad things too. Like maybe not in your head, you're not scaling it, but it's like being like, well, I've done better things and whatever. But it's like these people all have done really bad things, and like fighting through that, the fact that they feel guilty, the fact that they feel remorse for what they have done shows the impact and the trial to get out of it, right? That and to be better people. I feel like it's so powerful. It's such a powerful thing. I was just crying through the third act because it's so beautiful. Like you said, just like in practical effects, they're just going through these sets essentially of their memories of their past. I would have wished they showed us a little bit more of the other characters' trauma. Like I would have loved that a little bit more. I would have loved showing us a bit of Ghost because we don't see anything with Ghost.
I like Ghost, but she is certainly the least developed of this movie. And I would have loved to see each of these characters learning to like overcome their darkness in some big or small way in the void. Like I liked how they made a joke about of like, oh yeah, we went through all that. We feel great after that, don't we, guys? But I still would have wished we would have gotten like a glimpse of something.
Yeah, I would have. I understand that we saw that happening in the other movies. Like we understand that Ghost went through that development in the other movies, but even if it felt like a retread of the past, maybe not a lot of people remember Ghost from that movie. And like I think not a lot of people really like Ant-Man 2, so it's like maybe like people forget what happened in that movie. But I really like Ghost as a character, and I liked her struggle, and I like her turn from evil to like not good, but trying to get there essentially, to use her power to understand herself and control her power, because she was used by the government for so long to be this mercenary. And it's like I think it would have been great and powerful to also see her side of the story, to see Red Guardian's side of the story. I do understand that they were trying to cut down on time and make this movie very much tight and very well paced, but I think it would, like, the third act could still fit their void stuff, because the third act goes like very quick. So I think they could have included it. It would have made sense, and it wouldn't have felt draggy. I think it would have like increased how good this whole sequence is. I think because we don't see it from all the other characters. Bucky, like we could have seen Bucky has like a horrible, tragic story, right? So it's like, and again, we've seen the development of these characters. We understand what they've been through. I get it. Like I get that we don't need to go back on those things, because the main focus of this movie is like U.S. Soldier and Yelena, because we've never seen their backstories before. We've never like seen their what they've gone through essentially. But I think that we still could have added a couple more scenes of them going through the most traumatic experiences.
If nothing else, I think I fully agree. I would have loved to like actually see more of that. But like if they were that set on like trying to trim down the time, if nothing else, I would have been satisfied if there was like a shift in their dialogue to show how much they have changed, even just from their experience in the void. Less like even just down to, yeah, I went through all this, but I decided to stand up and rise against it because I want to help Bob, because I want to help the other people. Because like there's like this small running thing that like that was happening between Ghost and Walker that I liked in the movie, and I would have loved if they leaned into it a little bit more. Where there are a couple of moments where like Ghost like goes off for her own, and you think, oh, she's gone, like she left them behind, like she's not coming back, blah blah blah, and then she comes back, and then Walker's the first one to be like, oh, you came back, that's funny, and then Ghost like immediately tries to play it off, like, oh yeah, well I need you guys to help me get out of here. She kind of comes up with some sort of excuse. I would have loved one more moment where like they have a similar thing where Ghost is like, she came back, Walker looked at her, it's like, oh, you came back, like do you have some other excuse? And then Ghost says something like, no, I just want to be there for you guys, or I just want to help Bob. So like, yeah, I like went through some dark stuff in the void just now, but I don't care because I want to help Bob. Like I would have loved something like that, where like dialogue with each of the characters shows they went through some stuff just now, but it doesn't matter because they're trying to help Bob.
I think if Marvel was a little bit smarter with their with how they use like their series and their money, I would definitely think it would be so smart to have like a mini series of everyone's experience in the void. And have it be like a 30-minute episode of their experience in the void.
Ooh.
That would be so cool, because like see everyone's like Bucky, Red Guardian, even Yelena. I think because we only see like one part of her backstory, and that's fine. It works. But like I would love to see like a whole like this same thing, the same idea, but like expanded a little bit more to where we have like full episodes of each character going through that, and then like the ending of it is just them coming together and hugging, and seeing Bob's backstory as well. Like I would have liked to see more of that, like Bob being like the last episode of the miniseries, and then like having that same, like the ending of the show would be just them hugging him. And that's like, the connection to the movie. Like, that's it. The rest of the movie happens. But
Yeah.
I would
I
love.
agree. That would be great to see.
That would be incredible. Like, because we were talking about this with like some people like making the joke about Spider-Man also going into the void. The concept of the void works so well for short films. Like,
Yes.
it would work so well for like a short film about Spider-Man and a short film like that stuff like that, right? But it's like I just driving it home with these characters, like I would love to see that, like a little short series of them going through the void. It would be so cool.
Yeah, like that's the ironic thing here, where like this was clearly like movie was inspired by like short indie films, like they were trying to do like the whole A1 style, and so like they did such a great job of doing the less is more thing. But now we want to see more of the less is more with the other characters because it was so good.
Yes, exactly. Like yes, but anyways, we see these backstories. Everybody's like put into the void, like this half of New York. I don't know how much it expanded. I think I don't, because it does show us it goes through a lot of New York, if I'm not mistaken. So like it expands, the void expands, and everybody gets stuck there. And our team tries their best to go through their traumatic experiences, and they coalesce together. They find each other finally, and they find Bob, and Bob tries to stop them from helping him, because he feels lost and unwanted. He's scared of himself, and they just like go through and just try to get to him and they finally just come together and give him a huge group hug, and it's so beautiful and stupid at the same. Like, it's such a stupid thing to see on screen, and the fact that's like, we're not used to this, right? We're not used to seeing that on the big screen. Like, we're not used to seeing our action heroes go up to the villain and hug them, right? Like, that's such a weird experience, but it's so powerful and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And I just love the lead up to it too, is because I felt like the whole sequence of like even leading up to a climax of Bob versus the Void just like felt so natural. We're like going back to when you said like they like the team comes together, they coalesce, they find Bob and they reach him. Bob himself is even like, yeah, I don't know how to get out of here. I just like found this room because and like am staying here in this like void labyrinth because it seems like the most tame, which like feels very reminiscent of people who like are going through stuff, but they're still scared to like dig deeper within themselves because they don't want to deal with that. So they kind of find this sort of pseudo equilibrium in life where it's like they're coasting along. They've dealt with some stuff, but they haven't dealt with enough. But they're happy like where they are because they want to deal with more of that. But then the team's like, no, if we want to get out here, we need to go deeper. Like, take us to like the deepest, scariest parts of you, Bob, and we can find the exit there. And that's what they do. And then that's where they find the void. And then that's when the void shows up and tries to stop all of them. And then like won't stop taunting Bob, won't stop like looking down on Bob and like making him feel like a horrible person, which leads to their clash and Bob trying to literally beat up the void. And we see right away that's not going to work because the void starts consuming Bob in the process. And that's what compels the whole big superhero action scene where like Yelena is like jumping and weaving through all these things in order to get to Bob to finally give him the hug he needs, because that's what he really needs in order to reconcile with himself, not like hating himself, but just like being that deep exception. And then that's when everyone else comes in as well. And it's like it's just such a beautiful transition of like, in order to go deeper into yourself, you're going to need other people to help you do it, but you literally cannot do it alone, because if you try to do it alone, you'll just implode it on yourself. So like you need the guidance and acceptance of other people to help you really process the darkest parts of you.
Exactly. It's so beautiful because like I believe that in our lives God puts people around us that have gone through similar things, and to help us through those things. And like it's like I love that idea of like of us coming together and helping each other with the things that are with the things we're hurting. And I think that's so fast. The thing about church and what it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be it's a place of the broken and the hurt. And broken and the hurt should be helping each other with that brokenness, helping each other build up, not tear down. And there's sometimes there's a lot of judgment even in those spaces. But I think what the important thing is to recognize we're all broken. We are all hurt. Let's help each other. And I think this movie, it's so beautiful in that way of like showing this idea of like coming together as a community and helping each other, and becoming better people because of it.
And I love how it also shows that in order to love someone else like that, in order to show that full acceptance to someone else, you need to be empowered by receiving that same unconditional love and acceptance from someone else. So like with Yelena and her dad, I love that scene where like they reconcile, because like right before they all go into the void, they have like that second act or third act falling apart where like the team like goes their separate ways because Yelena falls apart feeling like a failure and like bears her fangs at everyone else, being like, oh, I suck, you all suck, we shouldn't be doing this together, we should just like leave each other alone, blah blah blah. And then she goes talk to her dad, and like she just bears her soul to her dad, and her dad's like, daughter, I love you. Like, you may not see yourself past your mistakes, but I don't see your mistakes at all. I just see someone who I love dearly, who I think is a wonderful person, and I think is capable of doing so much. So, like, yeah, you may not think you're more than your mistakes, but like, I think you are way more than your mistakes. And like that pep talk she needed, that full acceptance she needed, was exactly what compelled her to like go run face first into a void and do the same exact thing to Bob. Which I think is very reminiscent of like of God's in the church, where we are only able to love because God literally loved us first. He gave us that acceptance, and like when we're able to recognize that and fully accept that at the same time empowers us to be able to go and do the same thing for other people, because that's what we need. We just need that acceptance to really understand, oh, we are more than our mistakes. Our story doesn't have to end with our failures and our mistakes. We can keep going. We can rise above this. We can be so much more. And because someone else accepted me and acknowledged that, I can do the same thing for someone else. And this movie really does embody that.
Yeah, like I think that is perfectly said. It's like this, and that scene also like really made me tear up, because it's like it's really beautiful. I think it's like it really encapsulates that idea of like, I don't see your flaws, essentially. Like, I like, they are there. I know they exist, right? But I am gonna see past that and love you no matter what. And it's a beautiful concept that's like still mind-boggling to me, and it's hard to understand, to be honest. But
Same.
there are people out there, even like our parents sometimes, right? It's like we all know we don't all have perfect parents, because nobody's perfect, but a lot of us have parents that like love us unconditionally, and usually parents are supposed to love unconditionally, right? And it's like beautiful to see that in this father figure in this movie as well, of like of that unconditional love. It's powerful. Like, it's really beautiful. It really makes this movie one of my favorite Marvel movies in a long time. But yes, they are able to get out of the void, and they go after Val, but bam, Val has set up a publicity stunt, and she has claimed that these are the new Avengers. And Yelena's like, we own you now, to Val, and because they know all her secrets. So
like, this is her Hail Mary of like trying to get out of jail free. This is her get out of jail free card. It's like, oh yeah, I put together the new Avengers, so you guys will have to forget every bad thing I've done, because it all led up to like making the Avengers, and that's good, right? So like, I can get off scot free, right? And yeah, and Lillian is like, yeah, no, like, if you step out of line, we will tell everyone in the world what you did. Like, we will throw you under a shopping block, so you better stay in line.
Yeah, and we then like, it's such a funny way of ending the movie, but it's like a montage of them becoming the new Avengers, and like having all this publicity stuff, like the cereal boxes, the newspapers. like, it's fascinating. Also, I love the publicity of this movie in the real world. Of like, after the movie came out, they just started like ripping the paper off like the Thunderbolts and putting the new Avengers, and it's so funny.
Yep.
That's what the asterisk was there for. Like, because everyone was like, "Why is there an asterisk?" And it was like, "Oh, because it's a placeholder name. That's why." So it was a fun little like advertising thing.
That was clever.
Yeah, like, and I love it. It's like they did it like they had like just like this rip paper thing where it's like they started doing it with the posters and stuff like that. It was so funny. It's great. I think it's so fun. Like the end credit scene, I think the first end credit scene, or is it? Yeah, the first end credit scene is them. It's Red Guardian in the supermarket, just like buying or like recommending the cereal to a random woman, and the random woman just like puts the cereal in an aisle and just runs away. Essentially, it's just like, okay, weirdo. And what's the second the second post credit scene?
The second post credit scene is them talking about how basically they're technically the new Avengers. They're into some they're having a bit of a copyright squabble issue with Sam, because we know that Sam wanted to make his own Avengers as well. So like now there's two Avengers technically existing. So like they're discussing like how they deal with that, like how can they both be Avengers, or who's the real Avengers, blah blah blah. And then at the very end, you see some sort of pod coming from outer space, an interdimensional pod coming from outer space, and they like track down their devices, and you see it's clearly the Fantastic Four pod because there's a big F on it.
Yay! There's a big F. It's not a 4.
F4, whatever. Yeah, it's probably like Fantastic Four.
What's a 4? I think I just imagine like a big F.
Isn't sometimes they just do a 4 and sometimes they do an F4?
Yeah, yeah, they do. I just like I don't remember, but
it probably was just a 4. But like, yeah, all these emblems blur through my head.
Yeah, no, I just think it's really funny for them to see like an F in a ship, like it's going down like. No, but that's really cool. Setting up the like these movies have been like very well like connected. It hasn't felt very like it's in your face, but it's been like very like well connected so far because they kind of like are going into each other essentially. Like we have like Sam's like Captain America first, and then like they are talking about the fact that they have like a rights issue with that because Sam started the Avengers again, and then wants to start them again, and setting up for Fantastic Four, which is coming out I think this summer if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So I'm
around the same time as Superman, I think.
Really excited for that movie. Like I love the Fantastic Four, and I really like Pedro Pascal. So I'm gonna love the movie.
A lot of writing on this movie being good, so I legitimately hope it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'd like that. I hope it's I hope it's really good. Because it's like it's very comic booky. It looks very comic book, and even having the Galactus be so like comic book accurate, that's insane. Like I never thought we would see comic book accurate Galactus in a film ever. And because he's such a silly character. It's such a silly concept, but it's cool. Like I think it's cool. Like he's legitimately scary to me because of how silly he is. Like I think like it's a silly looking villain that eats like worlds. Like and that's scary.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really cool. Like I'm excited for that. But yeah, Thunderbolts was a very, very fun movie.
It did the impossible, making you care about side characters that most people would not care about. But like now, I think everyone cares about them.
Yeah, I think it does a very good job at integrating characters that were side characters in other movies or in TV shows. Love that. It does very good at integrating them. Like I said before, I think the only criticisms that I have about this movie is the fact that they killed Taskmaster, which I really hope the title passes down to someone else,
Mm-hmm.
Or something. I don't know, because like Taskmaster is such a cool character to me. I always have liked him as a villain and he also has a redemption arc in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So I like him as a villain that like sometimes does good things. Essentially, he's like very anti-hero kind of esque. So I would have loved to see Taskmaster in this movie because I think the problem is that like I think we were talking about this, but it's like we had two essentially with Taskmaster. We had three Captain America characters in one team.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's just too redundant, and both just in terms of her character backstory, because like she comes from the same place as Yelena, the Red Room, and yeah, power wise, the way they utilize Taskmaster's power in the movies is like, yeah, she's basically just another Captain America slash Hawkeye, or like one time she like mimicked Black Panther's moves. So it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like they're not really utilizing in the sense of like she's mimicking anyone and everyone. She's just mimicking the same three people, mostly Captain America. So it's like they're not even using her powers to like the fullest extent anyway. So at that point, it's just redundant.
Exactly. I think it would have been great to have her have the actual powers of like being able to mimic everyone's fighting style, because that's such a cool power.
I think the difficulty is it's harder. I guess it might just be harder to portray that cinematically versus like say in a comic book or like a cartoon show, because in a comic book or a cartoon show, it's easier to like really just like make a person's unique moves that distinct and clear. And so when you see someone mimicking those unique moves, you're like, oh yeah, they're clearly mimicking this other guy. Whereas I think in the MCU, there aren't that many people with that many unique moves. So there's like really just a smaller pool to really utilize and like effectively show, oh yeah, you're mimicking this person, because in order to show she's mimicking Captain America, she has to use a shield, or she's mimicking Hawkeye, she has to use a bow and arrow or using claws. So it's like you only really have like a handful of people you can mimic uniquely that can effectively show.
I guess, but it's like I think the cool part of Taskmaster is that he or she, whatever slash, can even like if he's fighting Spider-Man, he can like mimic Spider-Man's moves, and like Spider-Man has like very unique movements. So it's like it's really cool to see that. Like even though he's not taking the superpowers, he's like able to like replicate the exact movement of the other person.
And I think it's easier to show that, again, like I say in comic book, because you can do a side-by-side images. But I think for people who aren't as familiar with these characters or how these characters move, they might think, oh, he's just super agile. Or like, oh, he's just being a martial arts guy, and not like they're not going to immediately think, oh, he's imitating Spider-Man or he's imitating Shang-Chi or Iron Fist. They just think, oh, this is just a really agile mercenary that has kung fu moves.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I think you're right in the fact that it's hard to portray that. Yeah, I guess it would have been cool to see them like have like some kind of like the same way that he uses the shield and the bow, like to change between like tech to mimic the other characters more. Like he has like some kind of like the armor is like nanites or something where she can replicate like what the other person also has tactically.
So like she has Spider-Man like web shooters or something.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It would have been cool. Anyways, she's dead now. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I think the other criticism is the fact that, you know, I would have loved to see more of Ghost. I would have loved to see more of a bit more of Red Guardian. But that's it. Like I think it doesn't it's not bad. It's
No.
just like I just would have loved to see more because it was so good.
Yeah.
Um,
Like there's little small things there, like small things here and there that I would have loved to see coagulated a little bit more, but it still came together really well anyway. So like because it came together so well, that's why I want to see the more of those coagulation moments. But like it's not bad that they don't have it. Like for me personally, I would have loved a moment where like each of the characters decided to become a hero towards the end there, where like you remember
yeah.
like how like they went their separate ways because Yelena lashed at them, and then like they all started to immediately come back once things went down. And it's like, oh yeah, of course they'd come back. They're heroes, they're good guys. Of course they're gonna try to save people in trouble. But I would have loved some sort of reconciliation moment where they're like, oh yeah, we know you said all that, Yelena, but like we don't care. We still want to help anyway, or something. Like there wasn't really like a dialogue after that to like really bring everything home. It's just more like, okay, we're just gonna come back together. Okay, we're gonna jump in the void and let's do this. And it's like that's fine because again, you expect it because they're deciding to be heroes. I just would love there to be dialogue where they actually like said that and not acknowledge that before jumping into the climax.
Oh, I definitely agree. I think, yeah, I think this movie was missing a little bit more in the third act. Like, I think, um, again, not bad, pretty good. I just would have loved a bit more to establish that they're now heroes, to establish that they went through something that makes them heroes now.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like that. Like it feels the first establishing stuff very good. I understand what why they are a team. Like I like that they're working together because they're working against the same person. I understand why they're helping people at the end because I understand that a U.S. soldier wanted to be Captain America. Like he wanted to save people. I understand that Ghost is going to help people because Ghost wants to change her life. Like she essentially lost people in her life. She lost her parents, and she believes it's all her fault. So I think that using her power in a positive way is a way of her reconciling with that trauma of being the cause of her parents' deaths. Like that makes sense in a narrative way of like, I have seen all these other movies, right? I would have like, I would have loved if this self-contained movie would have shown me why these characters are choosing to do these things.
Exactly. Well, it's like the same conclusion we had like what's like My Adventures with Superman, where it's like we love the final answer you gave us, like we love this concluding point you got to. I just would have loved there's some in between that like showed us your work, like showed us that transition between point A to point B for this character. Of like, okay, show us them choosing to be a hero, whether it be like some sort of like wordless scene or like some piece of dialogue that just shows them saying, okay, I know all this happened, but I'm still going to do this anyway because A, B, C, or whatever.
Yeah, like, and I think it helps people that did not watch those other things. Right. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people are saying that this movie is very, very self-contained in the fact that they are able to enjoy it without having to understand who these characters were before. But at the same time, those same people are not gonna like, they're gonna see Ghosts and they're gonna be like, yeah, okay. You know, but it's like they don't see like that same perspective that I am putting into the characters because I understand the wider MCU because I've seen all of the movies and shows. So it's like I would have loved to see again a little bit more of that. Would love it if Disney would just like have that idea of like, let's make short little films of the void. It would be so cool.
Yeah, I feel like that really should be the goal of like a lot of Disney shows from now on. It's like not so much trying too hard to like integrate someone new or introduce something new. Like you can do that, but I feel like the goal should be sort of like to supplement what's already come before. To like, okay, we're essentially like putting our director's cut into a form of a mini series of like, okay, we're gonna flesh out things we didn't have time to flesh out in the movie by putting it in its own separate show almost.
Yeah, like I think that would be that would be better, and that was the starting idea was to do that because we had Lucky expanding like that character that like teleported away in that one Avengers movie.
Yeah,
like we had the Hawkeye series, which was like showing us more of Hawkeye You know, like that we didn't see that, and him like passing the torch. You know, like they showed us in that series. They showed us what he was doing during Avengers Infinity War. So it's like, let's do that again. Let's like dive deeper into the characters in the miniseries. That would be great. Like, you can introduce new characters if you want in those series, but like
the goal should be to flesh out what you've already made. Like, it really is just like a quality over quantity thing. Where I think the difficulty with Marvel has had for a while post Endgame is they're trying to like do everything at once, like shoot out a lot of quantity, but a lot of quality falls apart because they're like spreading their attention to like way too far and way too thin. Whereas like if you just focus on a handful of things, you can really make something good.
And I think they are following that thing now. That's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to focus on making things good instead of the quantity of putting things out there. Yes. And I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that. And like, we have Daredevil now in the MCU again, so that's great. Like, I think that's a good use of the Disney Plus thing. I would love to see him in film, though, because like I think he's like a very, very good character, and I think he deserves to have his own film, essentially. Like, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I think the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers, I guess, was a very, very good movie.
Yeah, good movie. I like the characters. I like these writers. I hope these writers will continue to like write for these characters. So like, I'm like my biggest concern like going forward is like I'm not assuming it will happen, but like there's a small fear I have where like we're going into the new Avengers movie. A Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy in Endgame might happen, where like these characters that we like are kind of get like completely upended or changed drastically because the writers change. And so like when we get back to these characters again with the same writers, it might be a completely different set of characters or a completely different story. I'm not saying it will happen, but there's like that's my fear. That's like always my fear whenever like familiar characters change writers. I'm like, okay, what's this new writer going to do with them? Will they stay true to what came before, or will they just do something completely different? I'm worried, but I want it to work out though.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how they're portrayed in Secret Wars?
Doomsday / Secret Wars, whichever one.
Yeah, no, it's not Secret Wars. It's the Doomsday.
I think it's Doomsday, and I think the next one after that is Secret Wars. It's one or the other.
Yeah, because it's first the Doom one and then Secret Wars, because they're essentially following the comic books. I'm so excited for that. Like, I'm so excited. Oh, because like I am so excited to see the new Avengers team. Like, I really want to see that. I really want to see the roster. I personally love the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom. I think that it was a smart decision for Marvel, because a lot of people with the death of Iron Man kind of like went away from the movies because they really love Robert Downey Jr. And I think that it kind of brings back people into the same way that we've stated before, that a lot of people believe that the fact Sonic is so popular is because of Jim Carrey. I think the MCU was very popular because of Robert Downey Jr. And I think it's smart to make him a villain. I hope, please, Marvel, that they don't kill him off like they've done with the other villains. Like, I think it would be so dumb to kill him off. Like, they have killed off all their villains. Like, I really don't understand that idea of like killing off every single villain, because it's like the fun part about comic books movies is that they come back and they team up. Comic book, sorry, it's that they come back and they team up. So it's like I understand it from we're saving the world by ending this person's life, but I hope the rest, like, I hope it goes in this direction of like just arresting the bad guys essentially, or like containing them, because I don't know. I just think it's like Doom is such a great villain. I really hope they don't kill him because he's such a great villain. Like,
Yeah, it's ironic. Despite being a Marvel universe, they are really running like gradually starting to run low on villains to utilize because yeah, they keep all getting killed off.
yeah, like I mean, you have uh such good villains just dying off one by one, and it's like I think it's such a weird way to do that because it's like I think that yeah, like what's a hero without a villain?
Mm-hmm. Or it's like either the villain gets killed off or like they just are kind of completely forgotten about or swept under the rug. Because I was talking about this with Joe
Yeah.
the other day of like, I like the first Doctor Strange movie so much, and one of the reasons I liked it is because I liked how they're setting up Baron Mordo as a villain in
Yes.
future movies, and then they never went forward on that. Like he gets a mention of becoming a villain in the second movie, but the only Baron Mordo we see in the second movie is just a good guy Mordo from another dimension, not the actual evil Mordo. I'm like, wait, I want to see the evil Mordo. I like that actor. I like that character. I would love to see him being turned to a supervillain and becoming a recurring threat for Doctor Strange. Because according to Doctor Strange in that movie, he did become a recurring threat, but we saw it all happen off screen. Like it never actually happened. I'm so annoyed that never happened.
Exactly. It's fascinating to me that that keeps on being the theme of the MCU. It's just either forgetting about villains or killing them off.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that it doesn't happen this time. I really hope so. Because Doom is such a great villain, and I think he should still be around. Because like Doom, like the Fantastic Four are nothing with Doom being there. Like, because it's like I think the way he even like stays alive, mostly is like he's the ruler of his own like kingdom. Like he has like an area, so it's like they can't politically kill like a person that like rules over like a country.
Like
So
he
it's
should have
like,
diplomatic immunity just because of that.
exactly. So it's like I think I would be smart to do that here, like in wherever Doom is from. Like I understand it's going to be like a multiverse thing, but I really hope that they don't kill him. And I really wonder if they are going to merge essentially. If the merging of the worlds is going to create the 616 universe, and they're just gonna stay merged. Like I really wonder if that's gonna happen. If they're just gonna pull out a Crisis on Infinite Earths and just have it be like a permanent thing.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like that's my best guess. I mean, I think they low key kind of did that back when they did the most recent Secret Wars or Battle Wars thing, or at the very least, that's how we got characters like Miles Morales on the main like 616 world. So like there was some merging in some regard. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens here, or at the very least, like I imagine that's what they're going to do to like really introduce the X-Men or like reintroduce the X-Men to the universe. Because like I imagine they're probably going to be like multiverse counterparts of the X-Men that like all kind of get sent to the mainline world, and like that's like our new X-Men from going forward. But like we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think Battle World is going to be great. Like it's going to be incredible. Like, oh, it sounds so fun. I really hope they pull it off really well. And like you mentioned, I really hope that these characters don't change when they get like.
Yeah, because like I trust the Russo brothers. Like Russo brothers obviously know how to like make a spectacle comic book movie, and they're good writers. It is more like when they're in charge of other people's characters, that can be hit or miss when it comes to not necessarily the portrayal, but just more like what happens to them, and then like how other writers are trying to have to like clean up that mess almost when they're in charge of those characters again. Whereas like I think it's just the Russos will do like anything or everything possible to like make this a big spectacle movie, just like with Endgame, and that's amazing. But it's more like, okay, but what about the aftermath? Because like that's not going to be the Russos' problem anymore. It's going to be some other writers' problems, and will that be too difficult for them to actually like do well? And like that's why I'm wondering will happen or not.
Exactly. Like I really hope that they the Thunderbolts get, or the new Avengers get like very much introduced there. And by the way, like I like the idea of there being two Avengers teams, because that is a very much a thing from the comic books of like these are the West Avengers. So it's like like that's a very fun thing. Like there are different teams that are Avengers in the comic books,
Yep.
or like different teams from that same thing. It's like it's fun. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
these movies are definitely going to be all about them learning to get along despite their
yeah.
differences and be coexisting in two separate areas, which I feel like it says a lot that like Sam is doing his own Avengers and Bucky is on his own Avengers because like they see both sides of being like such good friends and like trusting each other. And so I'm sure I would hope they would lean into that as they learn how to like coexist together.
Also, I really like their Avenger suits. They look really
Mm,
cool.
mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I really like the design that Bucky had in his suit. Like it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. And also having the two Avengers teams at the same time, just to me, feels reminiscent of real life. If only like as an R&B fan, like, oh, it's just the Temptations all over again. Like we had two Temptations running around, so yeah, we'll just have two Avengers running around too. It totally happens.
Yeah, like and again, very comic booky, very much. It's like there's not just one Avengers team. Like there shouldn't be, because the Avengers are just different heroes coming together in a team to save the world. So like I think like that's why there's the Young Avengers. That's why there's the West Avengers. Like that's what there's like the main Avengers, you know. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, like there's different ones. The new Avengers. So it's
Yeah.
like I really like that idea. I really hope that they do that. Like I don't want them to be like I don't want them to come together and just like become one big Avengers. Like I want them to be like, hey, we can be Avengers together. You take care of this side of the country. We'll take care of this side of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fun.
My main thing I'm wondering now is I'm curious to see who Sam will recruit for his Avengers team, because like I'm wondering who's even left that he knows. Like obviously we know there are plenty of heroes left, but I'm just wondering like who he personally knows that he can recruit.
I mean, definitely he'll definitely go after probably like Hawkeye, the new Hawkeye.
Would he accept the new Hawkeye? Like, yeah, I'm sure he would ask the old Hawkeye. So I think it would probably be a case of like vouching for someone else. And if anything, like, didn't she get sort of recruited by Camilla in like the post credits of her movie?
Yeah, but I think Camilla, I think Hawkeye are gonna be the new Avengers. Like I really think that they are gonna be the Avengers. Like I really think so, because it's like they're not.
I almost got the impression they were trying to do a separate team altogether, because I don't know if Sam would be okay with having kids on this team.
But they're not kids anymore. That's the thing. Like if I think they were trying to set up the Young Avengers, but they're not young anymore. Like they're at this point they are adults already. Like all of them. Like even Ant-Man's daughter is an adult already. So it's like
I get that. It's just more like from a perspective of Sam, who doesn't know them. I don't know if he would trust that.
Okay, I get you.
Because like again, like this is more like who he actually knows that he could recruit. Like who does he have on speed dial that he could recruit to this team?
I mean, definitely Banner, because Banner's still around.
Marvel has not really been trying to use him much at all. Like it'd be great if they brought him back, but like he's been getting shafted like every single way and every single time he gets showed up.
Shang-Chi, because we know that Shang-Chi is now in communication with Banner.
Is he in communication with Banner? I know he met Wong. I didn't think he met anyone else.
No, he did. He met what's her name? Captain Marvel and Banner, I think. At the end of that movie.
Shang-Chi met Banner and Captain. Oh, right. Because they're talking about the artifact. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we do have technically the Avengers. It's just they are very much spread out in different movies, and they've been setting it up for a while. They just have to come together, because like we still have Banner, we still have Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel knows of Miss Marvel. So it's like I think that there are some characters, like Hawkeye, still around. So we know that probably some other characters are going to vouch for the legacy characters, essentially, for being like, well, I'm not doing this anymore. So hey, I know this younger version of myself who's like doing stuff now. So it's like, why don't you include them in your team?
Gotcha.
And Banner being like, well, I know someone named Shang-Chi, and he's like pretty powerful. So I think it's just gonna be like because there is someone in the Avengers who knows another person with powers right now.
Mhm.
So it's like I think it's just gonna be like a reference kind of
Mhm.
thing, like a reference job kind of like situation
Yeah,
of like
it feels like Sam is going to have to take a lot of people's words for a thing, and like I can imagine there being jokes about that. He probably would like just accept it, but I could certainly see jokes of being like, "Oh wow, I'm getting stuck with the kids. I'm babysitting the kids today, or like I'm dealing with some of these inexperienced folks. Okay, oh sure, let's do this anyway. Like
yeah, because
I got proof this is Avengers anyway."
I think Banner even would recommend his son because it's like, oh, I have my son. You know, he's around now, so it's like I think it would be interesting if they're gonna make the quote unquote young Avengers the actual Avengers with Sam as their like leader. Or if they're just gonna try to make a new team, but I wouldn't know what new team would be able to be formed because most of the other Avengers are retiring essentially. Even Thor decided to just go off with it to raise his daughter. So it's like, and at some point we're gonna see his daughter come back.
Yeah. It also feels like a lot of these characters are just going off and doing their own thing. So like obviously there'll be some plot shenanigans that bring them back, but it's more like they'll just show up. They didn't actually show up as part of the team, but they'll show up and join the team once plot shenanigans happen.
Exactly. I think it's like all of the Avengers are racing the young Avengers. Like they are all preparing the next generation to come because like we have Thor's daughter. Like she's gonna be there. Like we have Ant-Man's daughter. We have Hawkeye's surrogate daughter. We got so many like people who are already taking the legacy spots in the MCUs that we haven't seen them come together yet. Which is very strange that they haven't done that yet. Like I would have immediately been like, okay, let's make a Young Avengers series. It's like we already have all the characters. Such a strange Marvel works very strangely sometimes in my opinion, when it comes to like utilizing the characters that they have. Because it was really weird. It was strange to have a movie where you had 3 different Captain Marvels. I understand what they were doing, and I liked that movie. Like unlike a lot of people, I really appreciated that movie. I like it wasn't perfect, but I liked it. I think a lot of people are just sexist. To be honest,
possibly. I never saw it either, so I wouldn't know. I just know the post-credits scene.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. And Miss Marvel is one of my favorite characters so far in the MCU. So I think she's great. Like they did a good job of including her. I just like that she doesn't have her actual superpowers. She has some like weird version,
some weird light power that like gives her powers, but not really.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just I wish it would just been her actual superpower, but maybe she'll have her like maybe she will like discover. I don't know. Whatever.
How did they handle Captain Marvel's character in that movie? Because I didn't like her character in the first one, which is why I wasn't really interested in seeing the second one, because it felt like she had too much of a chip on her shoulder in the first movie.
She's so much better in this one. She's having fun.
That's good. Yeah. As long as she's having fun, that's all I want, because it did not seem like she was having fun in her own movie in the first one.
Yeah, no. She seemed like very serious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The reason why I like that, at least I was okay with that first movie, is that she was raised in this like alien world where they had to be like that. Like it was like she didn't feel a lot of her emotions because she was subservient to not dealing with those things, like very like much compartmentalize them. And I think that the experiences of that movie is what set her free to start becoming herself again. And I think we see more characterization of her in Infinity War as well. Like we see her be a little bit more free with her emotions. And then in this movie, she's so much better as a character, I think, because she feels very much like she's gotten more experience now with her emotions, her feelings, and she seems to be more like having fun in this with her powers and stuff like that. She's also she also in that movie was very much like also kind of like I, I think I'm gonna hang up the mantle at some point. Essentially, she felt very like that because it's like I've been like saving worlds left and right, and I kind of messed up by saving. Like I kind of messed up one world because it's like the whole plot of that movie as well is that she kind of messed up because she messed up saving like she didn't save one of the worlds and the villain is essentially mad at her because of that.
Gotcha.
So I liked it. I think it was a good plot. I think they do very good at connecting the characters because it was like they swap places essentially with each other like, every time they use their powers because their powers are connected to each other. And then like I think you heard the end credit scene of the one of the Marvels getting jumped into a different dimension, which is
that's
like
when Beast shows up.
And Beast shows up, yeah. Like I think that that's what we're gonna see in the Doom movie is coming back to her. Like she's definitely gonna be one of the characters in that movie with the X-Men.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be all for today. Any last thoughts on Thunderbolts, Nathan?
Go see it if you haven't already, and if you haven't already and listened to us, don't know why you did that, but hopefully this convinces you to go see it.
Yeah, like I really recommend it. It's really good, really fun, and very very emotional. Like I really great, and I am excited to see more movies like this.
Yeah, it's the most introspective Marvel's been in a while, possibly ever. So like I love it for that.
So yeah. Thank you so much for listening. And we have a YouTube channel now. So go check us out on YouTube as well. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. Now we also have a YouTube channel. You can share with people who don't use Spotify. Yeah, it's just called the same. So the Super Infodump Brothers. You'll find it. And you can check out our Patreon and help us out. I would like to thank our Ethan because Ethan has been essentially our only Patreon member for a while now. He's been
thanks, buddy,
donating every month some of his money to us. So it's great. Like I really appreciate that. And it's cool. It's cool. He's leaving like comments in our Spotify and they're really funny. So yeah, thank you so much, Ethan.
That's Ethan's and Nathan's got to stick together. We rhyme after all.
Yeah. Thank you everyone listening. Enjoy the rest of the catalog that we have around. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful day.
Wahoo!